Pusha says was the first to come out of their sessions. Don't be fooled by Pusha's interviews appealing for one last guest verse and the jokes that he went to a GNX tour date to physically walk with Kendirck and Push right here. And again, why it's been so important to call out Drake and stay on him for the vulture that he really has become in this era is all because we'll just drop the clips, but that can't work because I'm still there solo. But if you let us all go, sure enough, Def Jam eventually agreed.
Yo, what's going on YouTube? What's going on? We're back with another banger. Yes sir. Today's video we got how Pusha T just confirmed Kendirck collab and Drake got softer. So if you're new here, don't forget that big red subscribe button and that like button. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. The more you guys hit that subscribe button, the closer we get to hitting 800. So join the family. It costs you $0. Now that being said, let's see what Fantastic Hip Hop has to say about Pusha T confirming Kendrick's collab and how Drake got softer. Let's get it, man. Let's go.
Comes to Kendirck Lamar and Pusha T. Well, if you are ready to get the biggest hip-hop collaboration that we have seen in years and just watch the rap game be in shambles over two MCs coming together like never before, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, because after what Pusha T just told us, things have never looked more exciting in rap for the next month or so, because after so much speculation and specifically questions around if Kendirck Lamar was going to be a feature on the upcoming Clips album, Pusha T and Malice just sat down with GQ for a huge interview where they have revealed so much, and over everything else they have told us how scared the music industry truly is over seeing the two boogeymen of the rap game just come together and send a message like no other two rappers in this era could possibly do. And now, as over everything else we now know, that Kendirck Lamar linked up with the best MCs that he possibly could, and is ready to get more competitive with them to the point that the entire industry is crashing out about this. Really,
100%. We were talking about this the last reaction we did on Fantastic Hip Hop. I asked you guys if you guys thought that Kendirck Lamar was 100% going to be on Pusha T's album, and now we got it confirmed that he is going to be on the album. Now, do I think Jay-Z, Pharrell, and the rest of the OGs are going to be on that album? 100%. If Kendrick's on that, I guarantee you a bunch of more MCs and OGs are definitely going to be on that album, and they're going to be talking their shit for real, because we already know Pusha T is beefing with what, Drake, Kendirck Lamar, Drake, Kanye West, and Jim Jones. We found that out last video. Those are just three we found out. He's beefing with so many more other people, and the collabs that he's putting on his album are also beefing with other people. You feel me? So this is going to be a very big album that people are going to listen to, because like I said, it's a bunch of OGs, MCs, and they're dissing a lot of other artists. People are going to want to hear what they're talking about. You feel me?
Before we go any further into why the industry is so scared of Kendrick and Push coming together, and how Drake has already been embarrassed pretty bad.
That's a dangerous collab right there.
Leave that like if you have not already, so all of hip hop can see how important this moment is going to be. And now with that,
like, comment, subscribe.
When it comes to Pusha T, Kendirck Lamar, and everything else, we may have just gotten the most important interview we have from a rapper all year, because with everything that Pusha and Malice told us here, well, they were not like most rappers when they do these interviews in this era and just speak in riddles or just do nothing whatsoever and waste our time. But in typical fashion, Push and Malice got right to it and told us some very important info, which is both telling us some very exciting stuff about where hip-hop is at and what we are about to see with the new Clips album.
Everyone knows you need a lawyer after a car accident injury. But what if I told you there's a better way? One,
but at the same time, we also heard some very disturbing things about the state of the music industry and how even these rappers have been treated, all because of what Drake decided to do when he filed paperwork against his label UMG. And now specifically, what I am talking about and what Push referred to here is the status of the new Clips album, and within this, why the record was taking so long to drop. As Push said, it has been done for a decent amount of time at this point. But ironically enough, because this is how Clips' career started before their first album we got from them in 2002 came out with another record in another label that we never saw, they got shelved and pushed back, which was pretty much happening here. But now it wasn't because Push and Malice are not proven artists who have legendary careers in this day and age. But it was because of something else, as Push told us that Def Jam loved the album and almost everything they heard, and that one thing that they didn't like was a verse from Kendrick Lamar on the track Chains and Whips. And now with this, just to look at what the interview straight up says, it tells us that if you expected the album last summer, the brothers sympathized, so did they. Pusha says they felt confident, proud, and assured of themselves when they presented the music to Def Jam. The label loved what they heard, except for Kendrick Lamar's guest verse on the thunderous Chains and Whips.
That's crazy.
The final version of the song that Pharrell teased at his first LV Runaway show, and the song that Pusha says was the first to come out of their sessions. Don't be fooled by Pusha's interviews appealing for one last guest verse and the jokes that he went to a GNX tour date to physically walk Kendrick Lamar into the nearest studio. K-Dot's verse homework has been turned in for a while now. And now also looking at this
crazy.
and hearing...
So they didn't allow him to drop his album because they didn't like Kendrick Lamar's verse on it? Let me guess, this nigga was talking some real shit, dissing some people, and they were like, no, we don't want that. We don't need that type of publicity. No, you're not releasing that album. Are you serious right now? What the no, we gotta get the details to this. They didn't like this nigga's feature on his album, so they didn't allow him to release it last summer because of Kendrick Lamar?
That Kendrick's verse has been done for a while is very interesting and telling. But
so he's been done that verse last year.
The interview goes on to tell us why the verse was pushed back on by the industry, which was because after a summer of beef between their two biggest artists that resulted in a still ongoing lawsuit from Drake, Def Jam's parent company UMG blanched at the antagonistic optics of two of Drake's biggest enemies linking up on Wax, which would cause their apprehension stupid, primarily because none of the bars in Kendrick's otherwise excellent verse could really be perceived as a shot or even subliminal. It does, however, contain the stellar line, "Therapy taught me how to open up, but it also showed me I don't give a," and now with this. Well, I guess we just learned what some of the bars on Kendrick's verse will say with the last sentence, which seems to allude to the duality and less...
Yep, 100%. Now we know one of Kendrick's bars. They literally just exposed one of his last bars in one of his verses. They just exposed it. But they're gonna say the reason they didn't allow Pusha T to release his album was because Kendrick Lamar was in a current beef with Drake, and they didn't want two of his biggest ops to release a diss track on him? My nigga, what? Is this high school? My nigga, we live in a real world. This is hip-hop. If I'ma diss you when I please, when I want to. You feel me? And if my homie don't like you and he want to hop on a track to diss you as well, that's what we gonna do. This is what sucks when you're signed behind a label and they control what you can release and what you can't release. If these niggas weren't signed and they were free agents, we probably would have been got that Pusha T album a long time ago. But this nigga Drake is going through lawsuits and doing this and that, so it's making other people's fucking it's making the industry softer. Dead ass. It's making it softer. Like, oh wait, nah, Drake's suing for this, so y'all gonna have to wait. You feel me? We gonna have to sit back and see how this plays out before you release your diss track on Drake, because he might try to sue, or we might get penalties for that. You feel me? It's just crazy how this is all going because of Drake's lawsuit.
Lessons learned in both the Mr. Morale and GNX era of his careers, but now in the much bigger picture of this thing and with what is said here. Well, this is what rap and the expectations in the genre are going to start to look like in a world where Drake is trying to ruin the genre with his suit and overall just scare the industry into even engaging in artistic moments of victory and greatness like we have seen with Kendrick and Push right here. And again, why it's been so important to call out Drake and stay on him for the vulture that he really has become in this era is all because of seeing the struggles that Pusha T and Kendrick Lamar of all people have had to get out a song.
Therapy has always been such a scary idea to me because I simply did not know where to get started. I didn't.
Because it's like now it's like any artist right now that wants to diss Drake that's under a label, it's like they can't. You feel me? It's the label. They're gonna make the song. The label's gonna hear it, and they're gonna be talking about Drake, and the label's gonna be like, nope, you can't release that right now. Drake's lawsuit and all this shit is going on. You can't release that right now. You feel me? That's what it seems like it's going on because of Drake's lawsuit is making rap softer. You're gonna sue niggas that are dissing you? Gang, this is hip-hop. This is what rap and hip-hop is about. My nigga, did we not start hip-hop off with battle rapping? Like, when does niggas get this soft to where you're suing when another nigga is talking about you in a song? Gang, you've talked about rappers for decades. And when a nigga talks about you and starts winning for it, you get mad? This is the softest shit I've ever seen.
If these two couldn't get out a song, this is all the reason why we need to keep pushing back and why Drake needs to lose here. Otherwise, rap is about to enter an era where things have never been more soft and expression as a whole will really be cooked. Because seriously, with what we are witnessing with what Push just told us, we were literally reading that we would have not got a song between Kendrick Lamar and Pusha T if Push didn't continue to push back on his label and then force Def Jam to drop him from the label as a whole and get him off the UMG roster.
Did you see that, bro? He had to drop himself off the roster in order to release this fucking album with Kendrick Lamar, bro. He had to go through all these hurdles because of fucking Drake. Just to release a song on him. My nigga, are y'all gonna tell me that Drake is not becoming soft? I'm a Drake fan myself, but nigga, this is some feminine shit, gang. Like, what? My nigga, I can't even say this is some feminine shit because there's plenty of OG artists that are females in the rap game that haven't even done what Drake's done. So, nigga.
This is why Pusha T signed to Roc Nation as an independent MC to distribute this thing, and even with that, joining Jay after getting dropped is why Jay is so important to hip-hop and why we need somebody like him to have the position he does, because his understanding of both the industry and hip-hop culture makes sure that everybody has a seat at the table in general when it may be harder than ever to do that, especially because of what Drake has done. And again now, what we are seeing is an early example of how the Drake crash out ensued is trying to ruin artistic expression, because if we read what Push felt about this, the interview tells us Pusha can barely contain his disgust, recounting how the stalemate with Def Jam played out. They wanted me to ask Kendrick to censor his verse, which of course I was never doing, he explains, and then they wanted me to take the record off, and so after a month of not doing it, the label just said, we'll just drop the clips, but that can't work because I'm still there solo, but if you let us all go. Sure enough, Def Jam eventually agreed to release the clips and drop Pusha as a solo artist, freeing the duo up to shop for a new home with a finished clips album and plenty more music in their pockets. Ultimately, Pusha says the endeavor was gratifying. It felt good to even see how other labels were buying for the project. And now, as they teased last week with a picture in front of the label's plain insignia, they've ended up at Jay-Z's Roc Nation where they feel fully supported and energized. I think that synergy, just in a rap sense, is going to speak volumes, Pusha says, of the partnership. And now, fortunately for Push, he ended up...
They made this nigga, they told this nigga, bro, there's either two things you're going to do. Either you're going to block this nigga's verse off your album, or you're going to remove it completely. And that's how you can release your album. If not, then you're not releasing it, right? Pusha T said, I'm not censoring this nigga's verse, and I'm not taking him off. Y'all gonna have to drop me as a solo artist. You feel me? And that's exactly what they did, and he's happy for it. And he went to sign with Jay-Z. And now he can finally drop the collab and his album that he's had for over a year that he's wanted to drop with Kendrick Lamar. All because this nigga had a collab with Kendrick Lamar. And Drake and the label doesn't want him to don't want Pusha T to have Kendrick Lamar's verse out in the world. That doesn't make no sense. Like, this nigga's already famous. He's already beefing with Drake. What's the point? Just because this nigga had a couple bars in there that y'all didn't like? That makes no sense.
Being a free agent,
he had to do all that, nigga, just to get out of his album.
They are not going to get out of the label and will either be shelved alone or just forced to do what they say, which would have been to ruin the Kendrick Lamar verse like they asked, and maybe even take it off entirely, because I am sure that Kendrick Lamar would not let only half or a fraction of his vision be released to the world without it actually having its full impact. But now also I will say, as bad as all of this stuff is in terms of the industry not wanting to hear Kendrick and Push together, there is some more good news here, as Push also does tease that Jay-Z is on this record, which once again just shows how much we are winning and how peak this thing is gonna be. As just to put it into perspective.
And not only that, my nigga, you gotta think, if they didn't want these two to release a song that bad, bro, Kendrick's verse on Pusha T's song, bro, it has to be good as fuck. That shit has to be good as fuck. For them to tell this nigga for a whole year that he cannot release that song. It's just one song with Kendirck Lamar. My nigga, that song gotta be good, gang. It gotta be good. That verse has to be fucking amazing. For them to say, no, you're not dropping that. Nope, I don't care. For a whole year? Crazy.
The article reads,
Crazy.
So they're officially doing business with The Rock, and the Kendrick verse was never the feature Push kept alluding to and holding out for. Does this mean we're due for another Pusha and Jay-Z collaboration? And then in response to this, Push said, we made history a couple of times, Push said with a coy smirk, referring to the two elusive Jay features he's nabbed in the past. And now beyond this, Push unfortunately had to keep talking about Drake, as he was being asked how he felt about the weird disses he kept sending to him and Pharrell, and more importantly, Push was asked about the suit and what he thought about there, where he said,
this is Pod 5, the first fully immersive sleep system. Intelligent.
If Drake's adamant to have a lawsuit, it's only because he knows all the things they did to suppress everything that was happening around Adidon and the verses and records and things that were happening back then. And then Push alluded to instances in which the label ruined his verses because of the entire Drake situation, and he specifically cited the tracks with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne in Maybach Music 6 and the posthumously released Pop Smoke song with Young Thug. And once again, just saying something like this, Push is showing his own experience of how the industry had to hold him back for Drake, and again, he knows that Drake has manipulated everything to help him and protect him for so long, which at the very least just shows us that something is so up, and we really have to thank Push for being one of the few rappers who just spoke up about Drake and the suit and says about Drake now as a whole, that because of this entire suit, I don't rate him no more, Pusha says off Drake's off-wax antics. The suing thing is bigger than some rap. I just don't rate you. It's like it kind of just cheapens the art of once we gotta have real questions about suing and litigation. Like,
exactly.
What, for this? And I mean,
exactly. So you're gonna start suing niggas because they're dissing you? My nigga, at this point, what is rap about to become? So Drake is trying to start a thing? Trying to start a trend? To when you lose a rap beef, just sue niggas. Just sue niggas. Sue the label, sue them, sue everybody. This is what rap is turning into, gang? Niggas just suing niggas? Oh, your music did too good, too many numbers. Everybody knows your name too much. I'ma sue you. Are you serious? My nigga, this is hip hop, rap. Nigga, you better hit that pen and paper so damn fast, you feel me? And start talking your shit. What are you doing suing niggas? It just makes you look weak.
Push has just said what we all
like
feel
straight
in a
weak,
more
and everything in
direct
your disses seem like you're lying. You're a capper.
Words like this, and really with this, well, what is so clear is that both with the song that Kendrick and Push have made together, and with Drake, which just the principle of what he has been doing has tried to ruin this album and everything around it. Well, now Jay is helping Pusha and this song come out, and of course, these guys are all trying to move Drake out of the way so expression in hip-hop can reign over everything else. And I am sure that with what Kendrick has recorded and Push with whatever else we are going to see, over everything else, this record is truly going to be Drake's worst nightmare. But he has never deserved for it to happen more. And so now with all of this said, let me know. What do you think about what's going on with the Clips, Pusha T, Kendrick Lamar?
Bro, now that Pusha T has finally got out of that label and he's with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z is allowing him and Kendrick Lamar to drop their album with all the disses on it, my nigga, you don't think that Pusha T is about to make even more disses on the old label and Drake because of all the shit he had to deal with? Nigga, this album's about to be good, bro. I feel like this album's about to be good. Not only is he about to talk about the year of all the bullshit he had to deal with and why he couldn't release his album because of Drake and his label, but all the other past bullshit he's been dealing with in his life experiences. You feel me? I feel like this is about to be a lot. Real shit, a lot in one album. We're about to have OGs, MCs talking about other people, talking about their life experiences. This shit's gonna be good, bro. Y'all let me know down below in the comments how y'all feeling about this whole situation, bro. This shit is crazy, and it's just gonna get better and better, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I want to know what y'all thinking. I'll catch y'all in the next video. We gone.